personal journal, basically, where I like to talk about what I'm currently learning, what I'm currently working on, and things that I feel that have benefited me from applying to my life. Now, today I had the inspiration to talk about this topic of manifesting a specific person. I feel that this topic is extremely popular and very glamorized, and for good reason, because it kind of feeds off of people's intense desire to be loved, to be valued, to be held, to be touched, to be appreciated by another person. Because, I mean, it makes sense. It's human instinct, it's human desire. It's a very natural want, and I'd even argue need, to have people and to have a specific person in your life that you have a romantic connection to. It feels good, and anybody could say that, you know, it feels nice. So I love to watch videos on manifesting and attraction and really being your best version of yourself. However, there was a time when I went down this rabbit hole of manifesting a specific person when I really, really liked a particular boy. And I was almost blind to all of his flaws, his insecurities, his bad character, because I was surrounding myself constantly with the input of all of these manifesting a specific person. And I will get into my whole perspective on how you can do that, but it's a little bit different as to what a lot of spiritual people I've seen are preaching online. My personal experience with trying to manifest a specific person did not go how I wanted it to and how I intended to, and thank God it didn't. One thing that I believe is missing from a lot of these videos is that the creation of what you want is not an independent creation. It is not a God creation. It is a co-dependent creation. That means that you and the universe are working together, as far as I know. So when it comes to you wanting a very specific person and doing everything supposedly correct, focusing on yourself, self-care, meditation, nervous system regulation, working on your belief systems and self-worth, that is what you're supposed to do. And if you're doing all of that and you're still not getting the results you want, maybe this person is not meant to be in your life in that way. And I know that is something that you don't want to hear, but for a lot of people that I've tried to manifest, we're going to talk about the trying, that I've tried to bring about in my life in a particular form, usually romantic, I end up discovering with time and distance from that person that they really weren't all that great. When I'm able to, the funny thing about time and distance from someone, especially if this is like a school crush, is you are actually able to become aware of the things that aren't good about them, that they have a lack of character with. Maybe they're not as funny as you thought they were. You were the funny one. Maybe they're not as kind as you thought they were. Maybe you were the kind one. the reason why you're interpreting this person in this particular way is because you obtain those qualities yourself. You're just picking up on the little things that are reflected from who you are. So when they do the little things that are just so sweet and so amazing, they're really just bare minimum effort. And just the fact that you are so consumed by them in your head just tells me outright that they're not meant for you. Love is not an obsession. Love is safe, and it feels very calm, and it feels very certain, and you don't have to question their feelings for you. You never have to question intention. That's one thing that I did experience when I had my first boyfriend. It wasn't hard. He did the pursuing. He made it very clear his intentions for me, and I never once had to question that he had romantic feelings for me, which I was not used to. I was used to always being the person who pursued, the person who chased, the person who showed interest. So when he did that, I was not in a place where I could fully accept that, because one, I wasn't even aware that that's how I was living and functioning. But after we broke up, I realized there was a lot of things that I probably did self-sabotage about that relationship, because it was so opposite of what I was used to doing and seeing and feeling in that particular area of my life. Another thing that I wanted to mention with the manifesting, with the trying to manifest a specific person, is the whole trying part. I know that we have seen a lot of people telling us to let go and let go. And if you're anything like me, you watch those videos, you see that they say let go, and you click off because you're like, oh yes, I've heard this a bajillion times. But here's what actually helped me understand why. When you are pursuing someone and thinking about them and desiring them and wanting them and putting so much energy towards them, they can feel that. Think about a time when there was a guy that you would never even consider in a million years, and you could tell that he really, really, really liked you. It's repelling. You do not feel attracted to that. Maybe if they detached a little bit and let go and just chilled out, you actually might be a little bit more interested. It's that polarity of when you go in, when you lean back, they'll lean forward. I've tested this just in body language as well. If I'm with a person, and if we're at dinner or lunch or whatever, and I lean back, I will see them lean forward. It's really an interesting social experiment. Or when I start to talk a little bit quieter and I lean back, they'll start to I can tell their concentration becomes more focused on me, and they start to lean forward. There's this one guy that I like, that I used to watch a lot of when I was super into the whole attraction stuff. His name's Aaron Dowdy, and I really liked how he showed on the camera. He got really close. He's like, hey, will you please subscribe? Will you please will you please, come on, I really want, please show me I'm valued, like this, leave a comment. You're probably dude, back up, chill out. But if I were to If I were to go over here, hey, how's it going? I'm good over here. I'm chilling. I got some music. You know, I'm just in my own energy. It's more magnetic. And you're like, you know what? I can feel that you don't need me as much, and that is more polarizing. That is more magnetic. When you get to a space of detachment and letting go and being in your own energy, staying in your lane, you're actually allowing the space for that person to either come into your life or not. And sometimes people are just not meant to be in your life like that. So when you allow that space and you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and they're not doing what you want them to do, you gotta let go of that. Because if you can't let go of that, what you're subconsciously telling yourself is, I'm not good enough. This person isn't chasing me, I'm not good enough. You're doing all of these things in order to obtain them. That's where the whole trying part comes in. When you try to make someone or change someone to be how you think that they could be, you are pedestalizing them. You're putting them way up here. Another YouTuber I love, her name is Malika, and I've really been attracted to her content more recently, and it's really been resonating with me. She said, how can you expect to obtain something that you have put so far out of reach for yourself? Now you may be asking, okay, how do I know if I'm putting someone on a pedestal? If you believe that they do not have insecurities or flaws, or that they're perfect, you have put them on a pedestal. And if you, what was the second thing I wanted to say with that? If you are not able to act yourself around them and be your most natural, authentic self, you have certainly put them on a pedestal. That is an absolute. And I really was like, oh, that is so true. I mean, I take it, I was applying this in my own life, and I was thinking to my past, I'm like, okay, for people I wasn't really interested in, it was so easy for me to be my natural, authentic self. And that relationship, though it wasn't romantic, it flowed so much better, and it felt so much more fulfilling and natural. Whereas if I were to like somebody, I would overthink, the things like, oh, like, how do I look right now? Like, do I look weird? Like, do I smell nice? Am I walking weird? Just like really getting in your head about the whole thing, and it prevents you and blocks you from being who you truly are. So now that I've discussed why I don't really recommend to manifest a specific person, because it shows that you are putting them on a pedestal, it goes against valuing your own self-worth. It's honestly a huge time and energy waster, all of that. I want to get into what has helped me learn to detach, because that has always been a big struggle of mine. I have a hard time detaching from people and being kind of interdependent, because I was thinking about why, because I've always considered myself an independent person, and I am, but in the respect of I'm able to spend time by myself. But when it comes to my beliefs and my desires around people, my worst fear is to end up alone and to be alone. If it sounds so bad. If I were to be captured and they were to be choosing a torture mechanism, a way of torturing me, the worst thing that they could do is put me in a dark room by myself. I would hate that. And I would do or say anything to get out of that scenario. So with that being said, I feel very attached to certain aspects of my life. I feel attached to friendships, to people I get close to very fast, to my parents, my structure. I love my structure. So if something or somebody disrupts that comfort zone, I freak out. And I've gone searching for different answers of how to let go, how to detach, and it's just a rabbit hole in itself. And I had to step back and remind myself, Emma, you know the answer. You know how to let go, and you know how to detach, so stop looking for the magic formula to do so. And really, I only have a couple ways of how to detach. And number one, I meditate and I get with myself. If I'm feeling attached, I will put on a meditation. I will literally just type on YouTube, letting go meditation, feeling gratitude meditation, feeling love for yourself meditation, like specific to what I need. Prior to the meditation, just kind of take a minute or two and be like, what am I trying to get from this person? Am I trying to get a feeling of being desired, being valued, being understood, being appreciated, being loved? Like, identify the feeling that you crave from them, and then meditate on cultivating that feeling in the moment with yourself. That's the first thing. That is my go-to. Another one that it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same, except instead of just like meditating on it, like doing something physically. Another thing that that YouTuber Malika mentioned was when she was manifesting her relationship, she did things to act as if. And what that meant for her was to be more romantic with herself. And she said, this is what I did to manifest my relationship, and when I decide to manifest another relationship, this is what I will do again. So obviously you've already made your intention of acquiring love, acquiring a person in your life. You don't need to do any more intention work. That is like a little overboarded. But practicing things that make you feel romantic towards yourself. So when I was brainstorming, okay, like how can I be more romantic with myself, I thought, okay, let's just say I already had a special person in my life right now, and I was home with them. What would be a really cute romantic evening for me? And I was like, okay, if I turn on a movie at night with like my candle, some lights around my room, perhaps a little snack, some tea, some my humidifier, my room would be clean, my body would be moisturized. I'd shave my legs and make sure I'd smell good. All of these things is what I would be doing if I had a partner. So by doing those things, even though it's not quite physically here yet, you're going to be putting yourself in the vibration and the frequency of that, and that is going to make you feel good. By giving it to yourself, you're sending that energy out to the universe, and you're telling it, I'm able to give myself this, I'm able to cultivate myself, and it will bring more of it to you. That is how that works according to everything that I have learned. I will also, thirdly, so first of all, it was to meditate and to focus on the letting go. Number 2 was to incorporate very like the physical manifestation of those emotions. And then number 3, I get busy with my own life. I make sure that I don't have tons and tons and tons of time to just sit and think about this person. Because when you ruminate on people, you are building them up onto a pedestal in your mind, and you are perfecting them. You are creating a person that isn't even real in your mind. It's not even who they are. And honestly, if you do that and you actually approach this person and learn who they are and figure out that they're not what you're in your head, what you've made up in your head, you are going to be so disappointed, and it's going to suck. I don't recommend doing that. At the same time, I'm not going to say that desiring and wanting someone is a bad thing, and that you just shouldn't think about them and shouldn't romanticize them and shouldn't come up with cute little scenarios in your head, because that's not realistic. And even if I did tell you to do that, you're not going to. Even if I told myself that, I'm not going to be able to do that 100% of the time. It's normal. It's only natural if you do that, honestly, because that is just part of having feelings for someone. It's part about having a crush. However, you need to recognize in yourself when you are going a little bit too far. And you know if it's too much. I knew, but I just didn't know quite how to stop, which is what I'm talking about today. This is everything that I've experienced and what I've actually figured out to help me. And the overarching message I have is to learn detachment. That is essentially what all of these exercises have been helping me do. And detachment, I don't mean by that by losing feelings for them. I don't mean by not caring about them anymore. That's not what I mean by detachment. By that I mean being okay with it going either way. You could have this person in your life, and they could be romantic, and they could be your boyfriend, they could be your girlfriend, whatever, and that could be great. Or maybe they're not meant to be in that role in your life. And if they're not, that means that someone even better for you is going to come in eventually when the time is right. And there's a level of trust and faith in letting go of control of outcome. That is something that I've been practicing a lot, is not controlling how things go, not trying to be somewhere at a certain time to hopefully run into them, but just allowing yourself to stay in your own lane and act as you were going to do so regardless of them. Almost like asking yourself, if this person didn't exist, what would I be doing today? Where would I go? At what time? Not even thinking about bringing this person into the picture, just thinking what do you want, what feels good for your body, what feels good for your mind. When you do that, you're not going to be disappointing yourself. You're not going to be going somewhere expecting to see them, and then when you don't see them, you're going to be super upset. You don't have to do that to yourself. And that's something that I did a lot, and it was just a really wicked, toxic cycle that I was putting myself in, and like continually, until I realized, and this was like a huge realization for me, that I don't have to earn and I don't have to work for somebody else's love. That I deserve to be given love and to be valued freely without me being or doing something particular for somebody. And I just like realized that I had that like deep down belief only like 2 days ago. Honestly, when I was meditating on letting go and detaching, and I was like thinking in my head, okay, because there was like this cute guy like somewhere like in at my gym or something, whatever, and I was like, okay, like he went that time, like I should go again at that time again, today, because I'm going to the gym. I was like, whoa, wait a second. I'm not going to change my life around in order to try to meet someone or be with someone or cross paths with someone that I have no idea who even is. Like, I don't even know their name. Like thinking about that in my head, I was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like, why would I do that? Like, I deserve to be pursued. I deserve to be like the one to be desired. So by just staying in my own path and going to the gym when I feel like going to the gym, if I'm meant to be with that person, then I have decided to trust that paths will align, that we will cross, and if not, then that just means that somebody better is coming along. If not this, then something better. That is my mindset with this now, and it really takes the stress off, and it takes the obsession out of the picture. Yeah. I hope that this helped just one person, and if not, then it just gets stored in my little diary, and I can watch it if I need a reminder for myself too, because I'm human. I have these things going on too, and I go through. I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere near close to perfect. But thank you for listening. If you did watch this all the way through,